On this episode of Hillbilly Blood, Cheyenne's ribbing Eugene and Spencer because he's got a boat and they don't.
I'm gonna be on the lake. While you're working, I'll be relaxing.
He was teasing Eugene and I. You guys don't know nothing about boats.
So Eugene floats one of his wildest ideas yet.
What would you think if I turned this thing into a pontoon boat?
Now, hold on a second. We didn't talk about that.
But when the boys try to ramp things up, they risk going totally off track.
Stop! Hold on! That's not good right there.
It's gonna go!
Here in Cold Mountain, North Carolina, the living is tough. Folks live off the land just like their parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents before them, getting by with little and making do with less. There's nobody better than Eugene Runkus, who's got hillbilly invention running through his veins, and his mountain brother, Spencer Two Dogs Bulljack, who's unlocked the secrets at the heart of these woods. Up on Cold Mountain, it's pretty common for a day to begin with a visit to Cheyenne's.
What's up, fellas?
Hey, man, what's happening?
Not much.
We were wondering if you might have some propane.
Man, I've been thinking so much about this weekend. I've ran out of propane. I forgot to order, and they said they can't get here till next week.
What you doing this weekend?
Man, going to the lake. Weather's supposed to be great.
Oh.
Got the pontoon ready to go. A few buddies, good time. So while you're working, I'll be relaxing. I'm sorry.
Seems like he's rubbing it in our face that we don't have a boat and he does.
I hate that you're gonna have to be working while I'm having a lot of fun out there, but it's the joys of having a boat. Maybe you'll understand one day with it.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so.
All right, come on. We ain't got time to fool.
See you guys.
See you later, Cheyenne. Man, I can't believe he said that.
Burton's getting rid of some rundown stuff in his scrapyard, and he's giving the boys first dibs.
Eugene and Spencer.
How you doing, Burton?
What's going on, Burton?
What is up,
Good
gentlemen?
to see you, brother.
Good
How
to
you
see
doing?
you.
Yeah.
Good. Well, you guys like to camp?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a camper. I want it to go.
Yeah, let's go take a look at it. I'd love
Let's
to
do it.
see what it
Check
is.
it out. Definitely too nice to junk,
Yeah, not bad.
but this has got potential. You got the bunk there, that makes a bed. It's got air conditioning, and hopefully this will work. You know, do something neat with it. No, seriously, it's yours. Take it. And you know, it ain't no sense in it just sitting here and rotting down.
But Eugene has something else up his sleeve.
But I don't think it'll be a hard thing to fix.
What would you think if I turned this thing into a pontoon boat?
Say,
Now, hold on a second. We didn't talk about that.
I'd really like to have a boat. I want to see the look of shock on Cheyenne's face when he sees us pulling up in a houseboat that's nicer than his.
I think Eugene's got a good idea.
I think reasonable. We're gonna end up out on the lake with this thing, and it's gonna flip over. We're gonna be on the bottom of the lake, and then it's gonna be worse. And if we're not dead, Cheyenne will definitely be laughing. There are some real problems with trying to turn that camper into a boat. Number one, it's real top heavy. You get flipped over on the water and you're inside, you're gonna have a real bad day. And number two, it's heavy.
Pontoon boats are made by putting a platform on top of a couple of flotation devices. The wider base makes it more stable than most other boats, allowing them to carry heavy loads.
The thing probably weighs 2,000 pounds and it's top heavy.
Hey, Spencer, a ship floats. Ain't a problem. Weight ain't
A
the
ship
problem.
floats because it's a ship. This is another one of Eugene's crazy ideas. Trying to take a camper and turn it into a boat's like trying to float a brick.
Eugene, can you do it?
I can do it.
Do it. His idea of turning it into a boat, it's sort of out there, it's crazy, but hey, they're crazy good. Okay, Spencer, make something nice, neat, that works. It's yours. Take it. I want it to go. And next time you need something around here, I'll owe you one.
Oh
Okay?
boy,
There you go.
it's hard to turn down. We're gonna have to figure out how to build a boat. We'll see Cheyenne on the lake.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The main obstacle with turning a camper into a pontoon barge is if they don't float. So we got to build something underneath of it that floats. Remember that log raft we made?
Yep.
Last spring, the boys rigged up a raft using some old barrels and a platform. But this time they need to go much bigger.
We're going to do the same thing with this. Only we're going to build a solid deck on top.
Eugene knows that the only way to make this camper float is by creating some pontoons. He'll make them by welding some empty barrels together in two columns and stick them on a trailer. Then they'll build a deck for the camper on top of the pontoons.
I don't know how many we'll need, but he's got a bunch.
Each 55-gallon barrel displaces more than 400 pounds of water, which means that 10 barrels ought to be enough to carry the camper.
Yeah, so we'll just put a few tack welds on this here. We'll have to make a 1-inch long tack weld and then do them about every 4 inches all the way around. And that'll be enough.
Good thing they're working at Burton's, because he's got a welder.
All right, let's see if I can burn through this.
What in the world?
That almost caught me on fire. While I was welding this barrel, a jet of flaming hot oil shot out at me and I thought it caught me on fire.
For safety's sake, using a whole bunch of barrels is a real good move. If one springs a leak, the rest will still float.
Got me, man.
What we need to do next is put these things on top of a trailer and then build the deck on top of it. So what we need to get now is a trailer and some kind of a hitch to haul this thing with. See, something like this will never do. It's just way too short. I mean, look, we'd never get the pontoons on it.
You don't have to tell me that, brother. We're not trying to haul a car, we're hauling a camp boat.
All right, let's keep looking. This would be good right here.
Question is this gonna be wide enough?
Oh yeah, it'll be wide enough.
The next step is building a deck that will spread the weight out over all 10 steel barrels.
Let's go find some wood. Let's grab these up. I should strap this to the barrel, you know,
And then come across?
and then go across. Yep, nail it all together, screw it together.
In order to build a deck or a barge that's gonna function, we gotta secure the pontoons, the rows of the barrels. So we're gonna band those together real tight with some lumber, and then that lumber will give us points of contact where we can nail and screw into. So then we'll run some beams across from side to side and then put it in diagonal braces so it's all real good and strong, and it should be a real solid craft when we're finished. And Eugene, even after we build this platform, how in the heck are we gonna get the camper up on top of it?
Coming up, can the boys hoist a 2,500-pound camper 5 feet off the ground without totally wrecking it?
Oh, it's turning too much, man. It's gonna go!
And later, can an engine from a garden tool make their whole project go up in smoke?
We're about to get stuck on the lake, man. Come on.
Eugene and Spencer are turning an old camper into a hillbilly houseboat. They built the base and platform and loaded them onto a trailer. But before this ship can sail, they have a weighty matter to figure out.
How in the heck are we gonna get the camper up on top of it?
That might not be too easy to do, but that's how we gotta have it.
Well, we've got our platform done, and so now we're at the stage where we've got to get the camper on top.
So I've been thinking about how we're gonna get this thing up here. I think we can just pull it up on top. But we gotta have a set of ramps for this to walk up. And it's gotta be directly in line with these barrels.
Eugene's plan for hauling the camper on top of the platform is to build a homemade ramp from wood planks supported by scrap metal. Then they'll connect a winch from the trailer to the camper and haul the camper up on top.
The ramps have to hold 2,500 pounds because that's how much the camper weighs. If it isn't wide enough, it could come off the side of it, it could crush the ramps. This thing could really, really fall apart in a bad way.
There's no way Eugene and Spencer can lift a 2,500-pound camper straight up on top of the platform.
We gotta measure how far it is across the tires.
But with a ramp and a hauling tool like a winch, they can pull it up the slope.
The release pin's all scarred up where they've been grabbing it with wrenches and stuff.
The boys are using wood and industrial parts to reinforce the ramp.
This metal scaffolding would work great for the ramps. It might look ugly, but it could hold a lot of weight.
The ramp is so long, it takes less force to pull the trailer, but it makes the possibility of the trailer falling off the ramp even greater.
When you build a ramp, they have a lot of strength. But if you use poor materials or don't build it right, well, then it's not gonna be that good.
Now that the boys have completed their ramp, it's time for the next part of the plan.
So the plan that we have for loading this camper up on top of the trailer is to try to pull it up with the winch cable.
A winch has a rope or chain winding around a rotating drum turned by a crank or by motor. They're used for everything from lifting cargo to pulling out stuck cars.
We don't have the remote control for this winch.
I was really hoping we could use that.
I think if we just hotwire right into the manual terminals on the motor, we'll be able to get it to go.
Yeah, you can jump it off them poles right there.
Yeah!
What do
All
know?
right.
It works.
Yeah, look at that.
That's good. There we go.
Say when.
All right. All right, stop for a minute. Stop, hold on. That was gonna miss it a little bit, so it does need to go this way a little bit. Yeah. The thing I'm afraid of the most is when we start pulling that trailer up the ramp, that one of the tires will come off the ramp and then it'll fall. All right, let's pull it up on there. If that happens, it could turn over on its side, it could get smashed, it could crush one of us, and a lot of really bad things could happen.
The camper's so heavy it's bending the wood down and out to the sides. If the boys don't keep it in line, one of those tires could go off the rails.
Boy, she's working hard.
All right, stop, hold on. Stop, hold on.
Yeah, man, it's so close over there, huh?
Yeah, it's gonna fall off on that side. Tell you something there. Let's do it yourself. Watch out now.
Get the hell out of there, man.
Yeah, I'm getting out from under it.
You're not gonna do any good if you're dead, man. You don't have
Keep
legs.
this thing rolling. Hold on. Let me get on the right side of this thing.
Coming up is the boys' boat about to come crashing down.
Oh, it's turning too much, man.
It's gonna go!
Spencer and Eugene are turning a camper into a pontoon boat. The base of the vessel is already on the trailer. Now they've got to hoist the 2,500-pound camper up and onto it without it tumbling off.
Oh, it's turning too much, man. You're not gonna do any good if you're dead, man. You don't have
Keep
legs.
this thing rolling. Hold on. Let me get on the right side of this thing. Yeah.
All right,
Hold on, not quite yet. Give me a little bit more. All right, now it'll move. There, now it's on the ramp. Man, at one point, one of the tires was just sitting on the board by 1 inch. It was so close to falling off of there, I thought it was coming down. And the board was even starting to twist over to the side. It had so much pressure on the edge of it. I thought we'd lost it.
You stay on your toes.
Let's keep an eye on it. All right, keep going.
You got it?
Yeah.
Eugene has to use a steel pole and his own body weight to make sure the camper doesn't go off track.
Stop! All right, stop right there.
Man, that camper started pulling back on Eugene's side, and then it went off to the other side.
It's gonna go!
Whoa. Yeah, buddy.
Holy cow, did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Stop. Yep. All right. Yeah, man, I thought that trailer was just gonna flip this board right over. You know, it was riding right on the edge of it. Look, it even cracked it. Look at that.
Man, it's because this ramp is so awesome.
That thing came so close to tearing this thing apart. It ain't funny.
Yeah, well, every little brace that we put in there made the difference. If we'd have left one brace out, it wouldn't have worked.
That's hillbilly engineering right there.
We needed the axle to roll the camper up onto the boat. Now that it's up there, we don't need the axle anymore. In fact, we got to get all the weight off we can. So we're gonna jack the camper up and cut the axle out, take the wheels and everything off, and then set the camper back down on the boat. There we go.
Now that we've got this camper sitting fully on top of the deck and we've got it positioned where we want it, I feel really good about it.
To make the camper less top-heavy, the boys are going to have to take as much weight off as possible.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Now we got a sunroof.
That's beautiful, Gene. Cutting the front of the camper off is important so that we can see where we're going.
That's what I'm talking about.
With the extra weight gone, the boys can add on things they do need.
Now we have to find a way to motorize this thing and make it go around the lake. Nice if we had like a boat motor propeller. If we had another barrel, we can make something out of that. Let's go find another barrel.
What are we gonna make out of another barrel?
I don't know, a paddle wheel. Put fins on it.
Like those old steamboats that used to roam the Mississippi River.
Until railroads crossed the country, boats moved up and down the river using steam engines to push their paddle wheels. Eugene knows that paddle wheels use the basic law of momentum. If you push the water back, the boat will move forward.
Taking some plywood pieces like this one here. Oh, it have blades on it, it'll spin. That should work really good. Yeah.
For his paddle wheel, Eugene is aiming to fix boards to a barrel, then run an axle through the whole thing. An engine and pulley will turn the barrel and paddles.
What we're gonna do with this barrel to turn it into a paddle wheel is we're gonna weld angle irons on it, and we're gonna bolt our fins to those angle irons, and we're gonna drill a hole through the center of it and shove an axle through it, and that axle is what we're gonna use to mount to our boat.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Now all they need is to find the right engine.
I don't know if he's got any lawnmowers around here or not.
I don't know about lawnmowers, but he's sure got a tiller.
It's just exactly the kind of thing we need.
This old rototiller engine will do just fine.
Yep, there it is. Right there.
Now that the engine works, they got to figure out how to steer it.
We can't really put a rudder in the back the way you would on a traditional boat like this because the paddle wheel's in the way. So we're gonna create a drag system. You drop a wing on one side or the other side and that drag will cause the boat to steer.
It's just like turning a canoe. If you stick your paddle straight down in the water and stop the motion on one side, you turn because the other side keeps on moving.
Man, this thing wasn't meant to run in a scrapyard. Let's go get it in the water.
Let's go.
The big question is, will this thing float? It's a little narrower than we wanted to make it because of the tires on the trailer. It's a little bit top heavy, the barrels might leak. There's a lot of things that could happen.
Coming up, is this camper turned boat gonna float long enough to show up Cheyenne?
We're stuck on the lake.
After their buddy Cheyenne gave Eugene and Spencer a hard time about not having a boat,
I'm gonna be on the lake. While you're working, I'll be relaxing.
they turned their camper into a pontoon barge. But will this contraption sink or swim?
Go! Yeah! We are afloat. Man, I'm so stoked I had to just scream. I'm on the steering, brother.
Running this boat is a two-man operation because the steering is up in the front and the drivetrain is in the back. So somebody's gonna have to steer in the front and one of us is gonna have to give it the throttle in the back.
Keep that thing engaged real low speed.
It's floating all right, but it ain't moving.
The propellers are dragging so hard it's stopping the wheel.
It was sort of a climactic letdown because as soon as that thing started floating and he pulled the trailer out, it was just like, whoa, you know, we're on. And then we go to move and we don't move. We're about to get stuck on the lake, man. Come on. It seems like what's happening is the paddle's eating too much water and that's bogging down that little rototiller engine. You know, that engine's made to go through a little dirt, not a bunch of water.
Eugene's solution is to cut a U-shaped piece out of each paddle. That way, the boards won't push more water than the engine can handle.
All right, we got it. Now see that? That should make it so that it grabs less water, see? All right, let's fire this thing up. Now that we've cut the fins on the paddle wheel, it works a lot better.
Gene,
Yeah.
come here. There he is, I see him. He's right up there in this cove. We'll just have to sneak up on him real easy like. Cheyenne's gonna have his socks knocked right off. We got the best boat on the lake.
The boys worked hard to turn their camper into a floating palace. They're ready to knock Cheyenne down a peg or two.
Where'd y'all come from? What have you built?
Man, we got a whole house on board. This was a complete camper we got up on this barge. We've got a sunroof, fishing decks on the front and the back. We got a high technology steering system. We got a rototiller powered paddle wheel in the back. The bottom line is the houseboat's awesome. Everything about it's cool. It looks cool, it runs cool. We can stay out here for days.
I'm actually impressed, believe it or not.
I was actually kind of jealous myself. You know, anybody can have just a regular pontoon boat. To have your own, you know, special contraption that you helped build and came up with, that's pretty cool.
Well, we did catch some fish today. You got a stove?
Yeah, we got a stove over here. If you want to cook them up, we can do them right here on the lake.
That sounds good to me. What about you?
Yeah,
I can
bring
check
'em
that
over.
out some more.
Come on over.
Let me start my boat, I'll come over to you.
All right,
Okay.
man.
I think I may have flooded it.
That ain't no good.
Are you kidding me? You saying your boat's not working?
It's not right now.
All that smack and the engine won't start up.
Hey, what's a good friendship without a little ribbon back and forth, you know? At least I was gonna share my fish with you.
Yeah, you were gonna do that.
Hey, you wouldn't give me a tow back in, would you?
Yeah,
Yeah, of course we would.
yeah, sure.
Might even help me look at the engine.
Yeah, we'll help you fix it.
Up on Cold Mountain, hillbilly ingenuity wins out again.
Want to know more on how to live the ultimate hillbilly life? Visit DestinationAmerica.com.